Head collars, like this gentle leader or this Halti, can be useful when working with dogs who have already got a strong habit of pulling on lead, but they can take a bit of skill to use. They're mostly recommended whilst also teaching the dog polite walking habits and not as a substitute for loose lead manners. The idea of a head collar as opposed to an ordinary one is that because they're fitted high on the head, they help to turn the dog using only minimal force from the handler. And turning is a great antidote to pulling on lead because our goal is to teach our dogs to stop struggling forward and instead turn and follow us as we move about, and that staying close by to us is the most rewarding place to be. It's generally easier to turn a dog by their head than by their body because, no surprise, where the head goes the body will follow, but also the muscles of the head and neck are nowhere near as strong as those of the legs. But when using a head collar of any kind, we do have to be careful not to use anything more than light pressure because doing so would risk serious injury to the neck or spine. All head collars have a collar or neck part and a nose or muzzle part. And we always start by fitting the collar first. Buy a size that suits your particular breed and obviously get the help of the shop assistant if needed. With the gentle leader, we start by undoing the clasp and placing it around the dog's neck with the nose part under the chin. The collar should be fitted high on the head, under the chin and near the ears, not in the middle or down near the shoulders. And the fit should be snug but not tight so that you can still get a couple of fingers underneath. The nose loop is designed so that the ring sits underneath the dog's chin and the nose should pass through the loop like this. So once the collar's been sized, to put it on, lift the nose loop, place the dog's muzzle through and do up the collar at the back. The nose loop should sit just forward of the dog's stop, which is at the base of their nose. And the toggle should help take up any slack. The dog still needs to be able to open their mouth with the nose loop on, but the goal is to stop the nose loop slipping down and over the end of the nose, and always be sure to check this before going on a walk. Taking the collar off is just the reverse. Loosen the toggle, undo the collar, and lift it off the dog's nose. Fitting a Halti is very similar, and again we start with the collar. Hold the collar upright so that the ring on the nose loop is at the bottom, and undo the collar and place it around the dog's neck. Notice that we're not using the nose part here at all, we're just fitting the collar. Again, the collar needs to fit high and snug, but still be able to get a couple of fingers under. So once it's been sized, to put it on, we pass the dog's muzzle through the nose loop and then do up the collar at the back. Notice that there's no toggle on the nose loop with the Halti, and the reason is that this chin strap will help stop the nose loop slipping off the end of the nose. Regardless of which type of head collar we're using, we have to make sure to condition our dogs to accept wearing them first, otherwise they'll quickly learn to detest having them put on. We can condition them the same as with any collar by first letting our dogs get used to their presence and then luring our dogs to put their nose through the collar, and then finally rewarding them for accepting having the collar fitted for just a few seconds and working up to a few minutes. Only after lots of sessions and when our dogs are keen to poke their noses through themselves and have accepted wearing it for many minutes should we try using a head collar on a walk. Now, whichever head collar we have, it's also important to recognise that they're not as secure as an ordinary collar or harness. So to ensure we stay connected, we either need to use a connector or a double-ended lead, and we'll look at these equipment items separately in another video segment.